Hi, welcome back to Stories at Work. Today, I'm again continuing my conversation with Punit Misra. Punit is the CEO of broadcast for Zee Entertainment, and I started with talking to Punit about story triggering, and this is what we discussed. So hi Punit, one of the things that I talk about is something I call story triggering, which is how can as leaders, instead of making those statements of what we believe in, etc., actually become heroes of stories other people tell about us, and through that they come to the belief of who we are or what we believe in. Most of us, when we take up a new role, we would go and give a speech about what we believe in. Instead of that, can we be remarkable? Remarkable as in worthy of remark. And so walk the talk in a way people tell stories. When you think about this concept and look back at your life, can you think of a moment where on hindsight you had inadvertently triggered a story?
Interesting that we should be talking about this, because this is an incident which happened when I had moved into my first, what I would call as a senior leadership role, where I was going to lead managers. I had gone back to the branch where I had began my career as an area sales manager. Now I was going back after 7-8 years as a regional sales manager. In that stint, one of the days when I was in a market visit at Shuklaganj depot, in the evening we sat together with a bunch of the senior leaders in sales, who were the sales officers, and one of them took me aside as we were enjoying our drink, saying, "Mishra ji, आपको याद है एक आप जब ASM थे तो मार्केट विजिट एक हुई थी आपकी बांदा में, मई के महीने की विजिट थी वो." With some conversation I recalled the visit. He said, उस दिन शाम को भी एक ऐसी बैठकी हुई थी यहाँ शुक्लागंज डिपो में, जहाँ पे सारे प्रॉफिट सेंटर के 5 सेल्स ऑफिसर बैठे थे, और उनमें बातचीत ये हुई थी कि ये जो एरिया सेल्स मैनेजर आया है इसको समझना पड़ेगा, इसको देखना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि ये कुछ करेगा आगे. And the reason why I was told that conversation happened is because in that market visit, I had worked with the TSI there, as I had learnt in my training, doing those 35, 36 calls in the day. And the simple fact that I was working those calls, as we used to call it, FCLC, first call to last call, triggered that conversation. Now, I had learnt that as a matter of course as a trainee, and I was just doing what I had learnt, not some grand design of getting into conversations. And yet here I was 7-8 years later, sitting with somebody who is talking of that incident, and I'm reasonably certain it was not the first time, and I was not the first audience that this was being recalled with. And that has stayed with me. I have often told this story to people, that how what you do sometimes triggers conversations, and they could be good or bad, you don't control that, but I think that impact has stayed in my mind.
Yeah, and imagine if as an RSM, new RSM, you wanted to drive home the point that it is important to do hard work, it's important to demonstrate what you want from people. You could tell that in conference after conference. That would never have that same impact as that guy telling that, 7 years ago when this guy was an ASM in the searing heat of UP doing 36 calls. Yeah. And that is story triggering, a very powerful concept where leaders walk the talk in a way that they are remarkable, worthy of remark, becoming heroes of stories other people tell about them. You can learn about how you can do this and learn many other story techniques from my book, Stories at Work. Keep watching. Thanks.